Good afternoon. Welcome to my digital story called The EdTech Experience. Spencer Davis. First thing I wanted to do was discuss the ISTE standards. The ISTE standards are made for both educators and students. I have to the side here the ISTE standards for educators, which include analyst, learner, leader, citizen, collaborator, designer, and facilitator. All those have one thing in common: to better enhance the lives of their students, to better enhance the education of their students. And they all seem to involve technology as well, because we have known, and the whole idea of this class is that technology makes the students' lives easier, makes the students' lives better, helps the students stay more engaged, getting to the triple E form triple E a little later, but that's just it. I mean, and the ISTE standards are kind of like, I like to think of them as the gold standard, because that is the top of like what teachers need to follow, because they're like the it seems like they've been proven that ISTE standards are the way to go. That's what teachers and students, for that matter as well, don't forget the students, need to follow. Open educational resources, those things are just amazing as well. I mean, for teachers, if you can find open educational resources, it's a good way, it's a good resource to have for your class. You can have your textbook as an open educational resource, which most of the time are very cost effective. In just speaking hypothetically, if a college student had an open educational resources in all 4 or 5 of their classes, depending on how many they take, you're talking about saving anywhere from $200 to $1,000, because we all know that textbooks are super expensive. So yes, educational resources are an amazing thing, and another one of those things I'm glad I learned in this class, because before this class, there is something that I really never put much thought into. The next thing is getting into my projects that I've done for this class. Our one project, the Web 2.0, I was unable to find that link. It's under my digital resume, but the link was not working, so I will look into that. So I went ahead and dove right into Web Tools. Web Tools was the understanding economics. It was where we were made to have students make a lesson for our students in our subject matter, which, if you've noticed, a lot of my subjects are economics, or even maybe some government involved, some social science is the biggest thing. That's for a more generalized view, would be social science. But we had the opportunity to use Blend Space, which was the big thing here, the web tools. And Blend Space was very user friendly. I could put videos, I made quizzes, I just put text, I put links to websites. It was really an amazing tool to use, and I think it's a beneficial tool to use for all educators. Next was the PBL. The PBL, the project based learning, a web quest, was talking about giving the students a lesson to learn, and they need to and will need to collaborate. They will need to do extensive online learning and put together a basis for their project. My PBL was having the students find what they thought were the major causes of climate change and what we can do to help the climate change. So here's a small video. We'll watch a small portion of me discussing my PBL to the students. So when we're looking at our climate change PBL here, first thing you're going to do is scroll down. You're going to watch this video by everybody's probably one of the most well-known scientists out there, Mr. Bill Nye. After you've completed watching this video, the next thing you will do is go to your assignment tab up here at the top, and you will read for this assignment. You will have 2 major collaboration pieces. I've put these collaboration pieces in here in order to practice your ISTE standards, working together using technological means to further develop your education on certain issues like something such as climate change. So that was just an overall view. I mean, there's a lot of different things you could do with a PBL, but that was my version trying to get into the students involved in real world issues and not only educating them on real world issues, but hearing what they think and having them collaborate even with me. And that helps with the ISTE standard of teachers becoming learners and even collaboration. Because if you want to think about it, you can say that teachers are collaborating with students. That would be some. Uh, I've always heard when we. The next thing here, like I had mentioned before, the triple E framework: enhancement, engagement, and extension. Another thing that I had not learned about, but is really going to be helpful down the road if I do decide to be a teacher. The engage part was, does the technology allow students to focus on tasks? I have spoken before that yes, technology is a very helpful tool. I've talked to many professionals that have talked about teachers how students will just seem to be more inept to want to do things and pay more attention for some reason when they have technology at their fingertips. Creating scaffolds. Yes, I believe it creates scaffolds. Not and that's in your enhanced. Does it enhance your education? Well, technology, I mean, I've worked in special ed rooms where kids will use augmentation devices to just communicate. So yes, technology is a great thing for a to help enhance your learning experience. And finally, your extend, helping you learn outside of their typical school day and talking about how it connects school with real life experiences. And it's like that's like I said, that was my big basis for my PBL was climate change, because we all know that climate change is going to be something that will be affecting us down the road. So why not learn while you're in school to make yourself more knowledgeable when you become adults? Next was just utilizing web tools. Here is one of my responses to one of my web tools being used. I have worked with teachers, and I just think that web tools are great. I mean, I know one of the big popular ones at my school has been Class Dojo, where kids get performance points and teachers and parents connect together to see how the kids are doing, and it just seems like an overall great software. But here's me discussing Class Kick. So I did Class Kick for my web tool. Ways that web tools help enhance learning is teachers can lay out the assignments for a whole semester. So if I were a teacher, I would probably make all those assignments available. Maybe you can have each assignment do a certain feat, but if you have kids that are very intellectually advanced, they can do multiple assignments quickly, and then they wouldn't have to worry about it for the rest. You can really see who's making progress, who's completing good. That's good time management. Um, and really, another reason why I think technology enhances learning in this class gig is no different as technology is more interesting. I've talked to a lot of professionals who have said that they believe that. So I'm kind of just inserting what I did. I must have been looking off of like a triple E, because that sounds a lot like going through the triple E, and that's why I had never heard of triple E before this class, but it's definitely something down the road that I will definitely use. And finally, the conclusion, summing up this great semester. Yes, this was definitely a very fun class. I mean, like I said, learning the ISTE standards, TPAC and SAMR, OERs. There's just so much information that was compiled into this class that I had never learned before that is going to be so beneficial. And I can honestly say this is one class that I will take a lot of what I've learned to the next level. Maybe not in other classes, but just in life in general, in learning some of the philosophies and some of the stuff. So, yes, I am very thankful for this educational technology class.